The cult that my friend Danny and I were infiltrating has finally found out about the 12-part series we made on them. And they are not happy about it. I mean, all that Danny and I really did was, we did film some terrible things that they said. But the cult being mad at us about that kind of feels like this is just them not taking accountability for the things that they teach their members. But I want to give the cult the benefit of the doubt on this one. So Danny and I are going to go back one final time to ask this cult if maybe there's something we got wrong. If there's something we did get wrong, like maybe we'll take a whole episode down or we'll revise it. But we have to go back to find out for sure. And we're also going back with the fans that won the scavenger hunt from the last episode because they're going to infiltrate separate to us. And they have their own mission that you guys are going to find out about later to help us pull off this final stunt that we're doing on this cult. But right before we all go in, we actually found a pretty crazy legal loophole that might help us get exactly what we want.
If they don't pay rent but have overstayed their welcome, you can't just throw them out and change the locks unless they've been there less than 3 days. You may, however, evict them or terminate the tenancy with a properly prepared 30-day notice, which they never gave you.
We're there for like 3 weeks, Danny.
Dude, that's our loophole right there.
Squatters' rights. According to Civil Section 798, because we lived at the cult for more than 3 days, they legally have to give us a 30-day notice, meaning that we can legally live at the cult for 30 more days.
Oh, we should go with it. We should go with it. Let's fucking go.
This is our house. We want our 30-day notice. Till then, we're here to debate with you guys why you don't like our series.
Technically, because you worked for them and you didn't have to pay rent, but because you worked for them, that's how you paid rent. You could be entitled to a 60-day notice.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So obviously we're just finding out this information now. We didn't do like tons of research into this, but we're still gonna full send it and see if we can stay at the cult for 30 more days to continue our documentary.
I'm feeling way more confident right now, but I still feel like they're gonna call the cops. I have a feeling about like, we have our legal loophole, so I'm stoked.
Dude, the legal loophole is so sick, dude. So I started a spy pen and the spy car keys for my fans.
You guys rock. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
And they were actually able to just drive up to the cult because the cult has never seen them before. But Danny and I, we had to park far away and run through the dark, scary woods. We finally made it onto their property. I turned my phone off because we're not here to get video of them. We're here to find out if there's anything we got wrong with our series. But I did start an audio recording on my phone so I could remember the notes for when I got back home. So Danny and I just full send it. We walk into their main group meeting. 3, 2, 1. So the fans were recording with the spy cameras at this point, but it's their first time using these cameras. So I mean, it's obviously they're not like professionals at using them.
Words on a paper or
So guys.
Simultaneously, every single person in the room just jaws drops. It was literally like they saw 2 dead people just come back to life. After like 10 awkward seconds of silence, we grab 2 chairs and Danny and I sit down to join their meeting. We didn't last for long though. One of the main leaders comes up and like kind of grabs us and yanks us outside. So I told him the reason we're here.
You guys saw the documentary and we got word that you guys saw it and that you guys didn't like it, I guess, and
we didn't say any of that.
But it turns out that they actually had no problems with our series. They thought our series was perfectly fine.
You guys like seem upset about something, so we just thought that like,
I'm not upset.
you're not upset?
I'm not upset.
I think at this point they realize that if they say what their true beliefs are, I mean, there's no defending them. Like even if we're willing to hear them out on their beliefs, it's just no matter what we do, their beliefs just suck and it's gonna look bad for them. So at this point, I'm like, okay, if you don't want to talk to us, like we still have 30 days here, so.
I thought we had to have like a 30-day notice to leave. And like, because we lived here for.
No, you're not supposed to be on here.
We're not? Well, from what we understood, we thought we had like a 30-day notice to like leave. So we were thinking like maybe we could use that 30 days to like make things right with you guys. And
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Apparently this cult member knows the law better than the United States government. And because of this, they're not just gonna call the police on us this time. They're gonna call the sheriff.
Are you guys the sheriff?
Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
wow.
It was pretty funny when I was, I mean, we were like probably like 15 feet away from them when they were like talking to the sheriff, and like hearing the way that they talked to the sheriff was actually pretty funny. They were saying stuff like, "These guys are being super aggressive towards us." First off, Cole, I know you guys watch my series now, You guys lied to the sheriff. We weren't aggressive towards you guys. And that is a lie, which is a sin. Maybe you shouldn't have told the cops that, because now you guys are going to the lake of fire.
You said you're being aggressive.
We're not trying to
And
be
it doesn't
aggressive.
seem like you are, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So anyways, we tell those sheriffs about our 30-day notice to leave.
They have to give you like a 30-day notice if you've like lived there for a month or whatever. We were like, oh, we'll just come back and use that 30 days to ask them, like, figure out the disagreement that we had, you know what I mean?
And that's fine, and that's fair. So the state of California, if you lived here for like a month, they can't ask you. You're right. You have to be civilly evicted, and that is how it works. However, you're talking about last year. We can't make them allow you on their property.
So what the sheriffs told us is that because they evicted us last year, the sheriffs can't force them to let us back in, which seems a little strange considering that this took place on January 19th. If any of you guys know, like, DM me on Instagram or leave a message in the comments, and I'd love to know your guys' advice. Because if this is something I can actually pull off, that'd be sick. But as of now, like, I honestly don't know the law, and the lawyers I talk to don't know the law either. So we're just gonna try and keep pleading our case.
We did a bunch of work on the farm. Like, we've done so much for him, and that just all goes away after.
Essentially, because do you have record of it? Do you like?
Yeah.
You have record of the work?
Oh, I have lots of record of the work. Check out this, and this, and this, and this.
Were they supposed to pay you, or were you volunteers?
We were told that if we didn't do the work, we were going to the Lake of Fire, is what they told us.
Lake of Fire.
Yeah,
That sounds
but it
is.
like, it's funny for you, but like for us,
Yeah.
it's actually like really scary. If
But
they
if
told
it's
us
scary for you, why come back? At
because
night?
they
For
told
that.
us if we don't come back, we're going to the Lake of Fire, is what they told us.
They can't send anybody to the Lake of Fire if they're not here.
But that's what
Right.
they said everyone that's not a part of their community is
Yeah.
going to the Lake of Fire.
It's a
But,
religious standpoint. You're allowed
but-
to believe in whatever you want.
but that's the religious standpoint that they like forced us to believe,
Yeah,
I guess.
so-
And
No, we're scared.
But you're no longer on their property.
so
They're
now
not-
we're going to the Lake of Fire now because we're
If
banished
that's
out
what
here.
you believe. You know what I
But that's
mean?
what
Like,
they told us to believe.
then
Yeah, but you don't have to believe
You
it.
don't have to.
Yeah.
Nobody forces you to believe in a religion. That's your own thing. You do whatever you want.
So you think we should get new beliefs?
That's not for me to say. That is 100% not for me to tell you what to do.
We went back and forth for probably about like 45 minutes, I would say. And eventually, it seemed like we were going nowhere.
So we just don't know what to do now.
Sort of a loss for words myself, to be completely honest. Right now, obviously, you know, and it's documented now that you're not allowed to just go to their open
yeah.
house. You're not allowed to just walk on their property anymore, okay?
At this point, we think it's best just to go back to the car and head home. So we finally get back to our car, and we notice there's another car just maybe 100 feet back, kind of staring at us. And we don't really think much of it, so we get in our car and start driving off. Right as we start to move, the car turns on its lights and starts to follow us.
So, dude, they're following us, dude.
Are they really?
The car's been following us for a while.
We're getting onto the freeway now, and they're following.
Well,
Crazy.
I mean, of course, we're not going to go back to our house because we don't want this cult to know where we live, and then we're just going to wake up dead one morning.
should we go somewhere like really funny?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So we decided to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, we made it to Chuck E. Cheese, and they're right there.
Why would they be staring like that? What do you think?
I don't know.
The car's just kind of sitting in the back of the parking lot, so we decided to go into Chuck E. Cheese and see if this cult member follows us. Oh, you made it!
The Colts really missing out on this one.
We won! So we're at Chuck E. Cheese for a while now, and the cult member never came inside.
Dude, I think they're just afraid of Chuck E. Cheese.
But we were still going to enjoy the rest of Chuck E. Cheese. Eventually we go outside, and the cult member's no longer there. And I guess more of the cult members started to follow the fans that I sent into the cult.
Bro, this fool is following us. We stopped to get gas to try to make it so we would lose him.
So Victor and his friends pretty much just started doing a bunch of crazy U-turns to try and lose the cult members that were following them.
We're gonna ditch this guy right now. He just saw us. Oh my god, this is fucking gnarly.
Eventually, they were able to lose the cult before they got to Chuck E. Cheese.
That's him. Oh my god. He hit the brakes.
I mean, at the end of the day, I thought it would have actually been fun to have like a Chuck E. Cheese reunion. Like maybe like we're all there, we battle our differences over some skee ball. But now the fans are telling me about the secret mission I gave them.
Oh, I checked. There was no. Then I asked, like, you checked?
Yeah, I
You can see there was nothing there.
No Also, they said if we show back up again, we'll get arrested.
Yeah, you guys got trespassed this time.
So I think it's gonna be Plan B if it's a ghost though.
There's always a plan B, and plan B in this case is this. The cult we're infiltrating is called the 12 Tribes, which by definition means that there are 11 more. The next closest tribe to us is in Colorado, so we're gonna re-infiltrate from scratch in Colorado. So you guys are probably thinking now like, oh, well don't these tribes communicate to each other? Like, yes, they do communicate to each other, but we're one step ahead. We're giving them fake names.
Hi, I'm Papa H.
I'm Bob.
I'm Logan.
Those are the best fake names ever. And so now we're gonna go back in the cult. We're gonna start all the way over again. This is where you guys, if you guys wanna see us keep making videos like this, subscribe to my Patreon, because you guys are what's keeping the channel alive. All the money goes back to the creation process, so subscribe to my Patreon. Plus, you get extra weekly videos and a shout out like this one right here. Look at this guy. That guy's cool. Same with that guy. That guy's sick also. Follow my friend Danny for his version. And yeah, maybe this was a little bit of a filler video, but it's only because I want to put a lot of energy into Colorado next week. So come back next week. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna